you end up with calculations like this. And of course, we have other type of, well, we give you 111 questions in homework there, and this is one of them. A swimming pool has 185 cubic yard of water in it. What is the mass of the water in pounds? Dimensional analysis. Nothing tricky about it. And all you need to know is to identify, all you need to do is to identify the conversion factor, okay? And then, based on the conversion factor, you do the calculation and come up with the correct answer. Now the thing here is that this is the way that the question is given to you in the textbook. We need more information than that when we do this type of question. Now the author assumes that you know the density of water is 1 gram per cubic centimeter. Okay, without giving you that information, well, we're asking you to convert 185 cubic yard into pound. And we have to, that's cubic yard is volume, pound is mass. Converting volume into mass, we have to use density. Okay. Again, density equals to mass over volume. That is the definition that I need you to memorize. And you have to know how we define density here. Okay, so what we have here is that we have 1.00 gram per cubic centimeter as the density for water equals to X pound 185 cubic yard. Now you can't do this because gram, cubic centimeter, pound, cubic yard. Units are not canceling out if you plug in the numbers directly. So you've got to convert cubic yard into cubic centimeter. So you can cancel out cubic centimeter. You got to convert, well, what you end up with is not going to be in pound, it's going to be in gram. And then you have to convert gram into pound, given all the conversion factor. Now when you do homework on page 41, this particular question, all of that information, this information is not given. It didn't even give you the conversion factor between cubic yard to cubic centimeter. Well, that's a secondary conversion factor. It didn't even give you the conversion factor between yard and centimeter, or yard to meter, for that matter. So you have to look up the information, either on the internet or through your textbook. Now, in your exam, I guarantee you, I will give you the basic conversion factor. Okay, so let's do this question together. This is what we have here. Density equals to mass over volume. Okay, now we can figure out how many grams of water we have based on the density of water. 1 gram per cubic centimeter equals to mass gram divided by cubic centimeter. So in order to figure out the gram of water, we have to convert cubic yard into cubic centimeter. Now, I don't know if you play soccer or not, and I was always wondering, when I was watching soccer games, we call it football games. There's a difference there. I don't want to offend any of you football fans in this country. When we play football, we actually use foot. You guys are playing football with your hands. I'm sorry, I have to throw that in there. Okay. So I always wonder when the referee says you have to step away 9.14 meters from the penalty, from the free kick there. So why 9.14 meters? And then I realized that's 10 yards. So 10 yard is equivalent to, 1 yard is equivalent to 91.4 centimeter. That's the conversion factor. Now you may have, when you look at different resources, there are different sources there, you may have different conversion factors there. So let's just assume 1 yard equals to 91.4 centimeter. Okay, so that's the conversion factor I will give you. Well, I may give you 1 yard equals to 0.914 meter, but the basic conversion factor will be given to you. So let's just assume 1 yard equals to 91.4 centimeter. Okay, so 1 cubic yard how do we figure out the conversion factor, secondary conversion factor?
Cube 91.4.
The whole thing cube. So basically 1 to the third power is to 1 cubic yard, yard to the third power cubic yard. Okay. 91.4 raised to the third power, centimeter raised to the third power. So this is the first thing that we need to do. Figuring out the conversion factor first. This conversion factor is not directly given to you. Help me out what this number is. 91.4 raised to the third power. I know I'm Chinese, I can't do that in my head. What do we have? Those who have calculator, do me a favor. 91.4 times raised to the third power.
763,551.
Can we just read that digit out one at a time? 763.
551.
551.
0.94.
0.9. Okay. So, well, we're not gonna deal with the sig fix there. Now, what we want to do here is that this number has 3 digits in there. So we're just going to use 3 digits in our conversion factor. This is the answer there, but we want it to be in the scientific notation there. So 763,551.9. Okay. You're moving the decimal, we end up with 7.64 times 10 to the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 5th. So 1 cubic yard is equivalent to 7.64 times 10 to the 5th cubic centimeter. We have 185 cubic yards. We need to convert this into cubic centimeters. So what we have here is that we have 184 cubic yard times the conversion factor. Well, 1 cubic yard equals to 7.64 times 10 to the 5th cubic centimeter. Now if you do this calculation, cubic yard cancels out. And that's the number 185 times 7.64 times 10 to the 5th. That's going to be the volume of the water in this swimming pool in cubic centimeters. So you got to plug in this number, multiply this number by this number, you end up with the cubic yards. Okay. Now, if you multiply whatever you come up with this number by 1, the cubic centimeter will cancel out, giving you with gram. That's the gram of water in that swimming pool. When you get the gram, each pound is 453.6 gram. Convert the gram into pound. You will be able to get the answer that this question is asking. If you plug in the number correctly, this is the answer you're supposed to get. 3.11 times 10 to the 5th pound. Okay, so in this particular case, we have an limited amount of information given there. Now, when you're doing a homework assignment there, and again, you should know where to find this information. If you can't find it in the textbook there, Google it. Okay, like the conversion factor between yard and centimeter. Okay, and sometimes you may need to doing a conversion between yard and foot to centimeter. And if you know this conversion factor, you don't have to go through that extra step. So as we demonstrated here, dimensional analysis can involve more or less steps, depending on the conversion factor that you're using. What I want you to be able to do here is that after class, make sure you plug in all of the exercise problems, not just from this particular lecture, for the rest of the semester. All of the exercise problems, sometimes we go step by step.